All right, fans. With us today, he is one half of the tag team best sports radio talk show right here from noon to 3 in Denver. Coming to you from 104.3 The Fan, it's Brandon Stokely's better half, Zach. Bye. How's it going, my man?
I like it, man. It's going good, man. We're doing good over here. Thank you for having me on the podcast, man.
No, absolutely. Thank you for coming on the podcast. And fans, if you don't know, we've got Zach Bye on today. We're going to talk a little NBA hoops. As we know, the play-in has started. The playoffs are going to be underway starting next week. So we're going to get a little inside scoop from our man Zach right here. Get some thoughts from him. Obviously, talk maybe just a touch on the MVP race. But first, to start it all off, my friend, I got to ask you one of our famous questions right here on the Eeez N Beez Podcast. Are you ready? All right.
Ready.
How about this, Zach? Tomorrow, you're making breakfast for any celebrity or athlete, dead or alive. What are you making, and who are you making it for?
Any celebrity, dead or alive, I'm making them breakfast. Good heavens. I think I'll go with, you want to know what? I think I'll go with Kobe Bryant as my celebrity that unfortunately, falls under the category of no longer with us. When I was falling in love with the game of basketball, like Kobe was my dude. Like when I was young and impressionable and falling in love with the game, 13 years old, 14 years old, I didn't grow up in the Jordan era. Like I saw the very end of Jordan, and I was watching Kobe and the footwork, the jump shot, he was in all the commercials. So I'll pick Kobe, and I guess for the meal, I'll make him, he's got to get his protein, man. He's got to get his protein. So I'll keep it real simple, because I think Kobe struck me as a guy who, in a lot of things, loved simplicity. So I'll just go with eggs, get your protein that way. Bacon, get your protein that way, with a side of yogurt with some granola. And some orange juice.
There you go. You got to have something to wash it down with. And that would definitely be a breakfast I would love to join. Obviously, Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest. Just to maybe even conversate with him would be awesome. All right, well, how about this one? The last one I got for you before I turn it over to you and we start talking some hoops. All right, picture this. This weekend, you and Stokely are going to the movies to see the movie about your life. What's the name of it, and who is playing you?
Ooh, man, that's a tough question. A movie about my life, what the name of it would be. That's a really good question. I'll go with Relentless Pursuit.
Awesome. Okay.
I'll go with Relentless Pursuit, because, I never want to stop trying to be better. It took me a long time to get to where I ended up at the Fan, and I didn't quit. It took me 10 years. And so I think the name of it, not to be too self-aggrandizing, but I'd say Relentless Pursuit. And who's going to play me? Oh my gosh. This is where you can get yourself into some trouble. You start assigning
anybody looking good. I mean, you got many options.
I need a taller, dark-haired white guy. Let me go with Vince Vaughn.
Okay, that's a good one. I was gonna throw out maybe Nicolas Cage, but I think Vince Vaughn probably would suit you a lot better for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we all know he's a huge sports fan on top of that. So
yeah.
Well, hey, let's switch gears and get to what we got you here for today. I know your time's limited, but we got to know, Zach, what's going on with this year's NBA playoffs?
Man, so what an interesting year for the NBA. I mean, they tried to do the quick turnaround with a shortened season. And really, I think their thought there was you got through the bubble, and then you did the bubble playoffs, and you had a bubble champion. And then their goal really was, I think, to get the 2021-2022 season started on time and get back to a normal 82 game season. And the way that they had to pull that off was to do a quick turnaround for the teams that were in the playoffs, the shortest offseason in NBA history. And then you do a truncated season, get you to the playoffs, and then by the time it's done next year, you can get back on track to your normal revenue stream of full attendance and everything like that. So I said that to say it's been a weird season. It's been a weird season with injuries, whether you're talking about guys like Anthony Davis and LeBron James to Jamal Murray here in Denver.
Yep.
So I'm ready for this thing. I'm ready for these playoffs. The last 10% of these seasons has been made spicier because of the play-in game, but still, I'm just ready for the playoffs. And, my general thought about it with just a broad stroke, it's really, really, it's really disjointed in where I say that, whereas like normally you come in and there's like one or two totally established favorites. Yeah. And there's really not that this year. Like, think about it. Like the Lakers we're in the play-in game. They're now going to be one of the lower, it's like, it doesn't have that alpha dog at the top that you're like, that's the guy to beat. Is it Utah? Right, they've dealt with their own injuries. Is it Phoenix? A lot of inexperience there combined with CP3. Is it a team like, the Nuggets who don't have their number 2 star? So it's really interesting, especially in the West. And then you look in the East, Philly, you look at the step back season over season that Boston took, right? Now, the Miami Heat were in the NBA Finals a year ago. That's not going to be the case this time around. Could it be a team like Milwaukee? There's question marks all around. Brooklyn. Brooklyn's got all the talent in the world, but how many games have they played together?
Exactly.
With Harden, Kyrie, and Durant. So it's like one of these things where if there was ever a year for someone to sneak a championship, and I don't mean that in disrespect, like when I think of sneak a championship, I think of a team like Dallas that beat Miami. Yeah. No one had Dallas as a team that was going to win the NBA title. I think of a team like Toronto 2 years ago. I don't think people were talking about Toronto winning an NBA title. So in all due respect to the champions, I'm talking about someone who is maybe laying in the grass a little bit. Maybe like Miami was a year ago. People weren't expecting the Heat to be in the finals. So like it could be NBA Finals, dude, something like Utah versus Milwaukee. Like that could happen. So I'm fascinated by the mystery of it all, because typically the NBA is not cookie cutter, but you can, a lot of times with the NBA, with 7-game series, you can kind of predict like, okay, this team's not going to be able to beat that team 4 times. So it's a really fun time. I just think that it's wide open, and it's an opportunity for the Nuggets to really make some noise where maybe in a typical year they wouldn't be able to, considering the injury to Jamal. So we'll see, man. But I can't wait.
Absolutely. I can't agree more with you. I got to say, I've been on the fence line a little bit with these injuries that, like we were talking. Do you think personally that some of these players milked some of those out just because of what we were getting ourselves into closer to the playoffs? Like, a Harden, could he have come back maybe a little bit earlier? Did LeBron maybe drag out his ankle a little bit more than he should? That's what I've been on the fence on. I think that this year, like you said, is definitely completely different. And I'm going to have to agree with you also on the fact that I think we're going to get another surprise winner this year. Even like you said, the Lakers being in the play-in game and, barely squeaking it out past Golden State the other night, but they're not out of the water yet. They're going to be looking at a very, like you said, kind of newer team in Phoenix, but man, they've been tough all year long. And then, like you said, flip it over to the East side. Everybody wants to ride home on the Nets, because of what they got on that team. But like you said, once again, they haven't played together all year. So we don't know how this is going to gel, if it's going to gel at all. Plus, we got, be concerned that there still could be some injuries in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm with you. I can't wait. I think this is one of the more exciting seasons, just like you said, coming off the bubble year with the bubble champs. I don't think we're going to have a repeat, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it all makes sense. I mean, for us to have a repeat, LeBron and the Lakers are going to have to win more games than any champion in NBA history. So look, I don't want to slander the Lakers at all because they have incredible talent.
Absolutely.
And you never count LeBron James
Right.
out. But it just, could they do it? Yeah. If you're asking me right now, as we sit here recording this, do I think the Lakers are going to repeat as champions? No, I don't. And maybe I'll eat crow in, a month and a half. I just don't think that the Lakers are going to go from 0 to 100. That it's so tough. These NBA champions, man, it's so tough to get to that point. And the Lakers have been so disjointed all year because of injury. And don't forget, they're the team, along with Miami, who had the shortest offseason in NBA history.
Yeah,
right? They're the last ones playing. Now they're supposed to run it back. If you're asking me, the chances of the Lakers winning it all, I'll put it at 25%. Again, and that's just because I respect them so much and respect LeBron so much. But I think it's going to be a new champion. Could it be Utah? Could it be Philadelphia? Could it be Milwaukee? It's crazy. The whole thing is wide open, but that's kind of what makes it fun this time around.
Yes, definitely agree. And nobody knows. It could be anybody. But let's switch over to another thing I want to talk to you before I get you out of here. I want to know what your thoughts are on the MVP race. As we know, obviously Embiid, Jokic, and Steph Curry, the three candidates. Do you think our boy Jokic has got this wrapped up, signed, sealed, and delivered? Or do you still think there might be a chance that one of those other two guys get that?
No, I think Jokic has it wrapped up. I do. And I think that the performance following Jamal's injury, where the Nuggets went on to have tied for the best record in the NBA post-injury. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about that. So take another team, for example,
Lakers. Look at the Lakers. They struggle when they lose, LeBron basically. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's one of these things where not only did they tread water, but they had the best record in the NBA.
They got better in a way. Yeah.
So what are we really talking about? The raw numbers for Jokic are insane. The advanced stats for Jokic are insane. The triple doubles are insane. The double doubles are insane.
Yep.
Jokic has more double doubles than Embiid has games played. I mean,
it's crazy.
What are we talking about? So I think, my prediction has been on the radio, on Twitter, and here with you. I think it's going to be a landslide. I think that, there's been a lot of conversation about this, but I think that it's been a conversation about the conversation. Sure. It's not necessarily a conversation about Jokic and why he deserves it. So I get it. These, national shows have a job to do. They want to spark debate. They want to draw on the largest audience that they can. But the voters, there's integrity behind those votes. And when those votes are cast, I think it's going to be Jokic in a landslide.
Well, I surely hope so. We all know there's always one of them two crazies out there, but we'll have to wait off and see. Obviously, us here in Denver are all pulling for him. We can't wait to, see how this playoff shakes out. We're all going to keep a close ear to the ground. Well, before I let you go, Zach, I'm going to definitely turn it over to you, let you promote anything you got to say there, and the floor is yours.
Oh, well, I would just say, we got the radio show between noon and 3 every weekday, myself and former 15-year NFL veteran Brandon Stokely, who he and I get along so well. And, he's really a good friend of mine. We have so much fun on the show. And I hope people check it out, that if they haven't, or maybe heard about the show and haven't given it a try, I would just say, give us a listen. And it may not be for you, but it might be for you. And I've been surprised how many people the show is for. And it makes me feel good to connect with someone like yourself. Edward, who, you know, listens to the show and has shown love. And so I'd say the radio show from noon to 3 on Sports Radio 104.3 The Fan. We got the podcast, over 40,000 downloads last month. And you know, the podcast of Mile High Hoops Basketball, me talking Nuggets that I've had for 3 years now. So yeah, that's about it. But I appreciate you for, you know, thinking enough of me and having me on. And
Absolutely, Zach, man. It's been an honor and pleasure having you here on the Eeez N Beez. We hope to get you back maybe in the future, talk some more hoops. Heck, we could talk any sports. I could talk all day with you, buddy. Once again, folks, from 104.3 The Fan and Mile High Hoops Podcast, it's the guy that keeps Brandon Stokely in line, Zach. Bye.
Love it. Love it.